Hello, everybody. My name is Jeremy. This is Red Means Recording. I'm a little late to the party, but did you know that our friend here, the Minifreak, finally got a vocoder? You probably did. Like I said, I'm super late to the party. I like to do videos on big updates to things that I really like, and I did one on the samples update, which was great. We got this out of it. Ace. If you haven't seen my video on that, go check it out. But now we have a vocoder. What the hell is a vocoder, you might be asking?
The vocoder, introduced in 1935, and the voder in 1937, were early speech analysis synthesis systems that modeled the spectral characteristics of the human voice tract. The original vocoder, invented by Homer Dudley at Bell Labs in 1928, was designed for secure voice communications over telephone lines, by encoding speech into a compressed signal that could be transmitted over narrower bandwidths. It consisted of an analyzer that broke down speech into its frequency components, and a synthesizer that reconstructed an artificial voice from these components. The analyzer used bandpass filters to separate the speech spectrum into different frequency bands, while the synthesizer combined noise and tone generators to resynthesize the voice.
What we associate with vocoders is something like this. Over here, change this to multicomp. So, you know vocoders. You've heard Daft Punk. You've heard all kinds of shit that probably has a vocoder in it. So you got a carrier and you got a modulator. And the way that works is carrier is generally the synth sound. So if I turn off the vocoder effect here. So carrier. That. And then modulator is the voice. At least that's right. That's how I remember it. If I'm wrong, it's the opposite. So the cool thing about this is, in some cases, the vocoder is like an actual oscillator type. So in the Minifreak, we have like a bunch of different oscillator types and sample types and granular types, but they've made it an effect, which means that we could use every single type of oscillator, including the sample ones. And we'll be going through that a little bit today. There's also an internal version of the vocoder which processes the sound with the vocoder parameters. So I'll show that real quick. Change this to vocoder self. Turn it on. It's the vocoder spectrum, the vocoder formant, and then dry wet. So you can see it does import a neat quality of the sound. And if I'll turn super unison on, and then I will turn the multicomp on, and we can get a really interesting sort of like starting getting into like drum and bass sound design. So don't sleep on the internal vocoder. We'll be experimenting with that a little bit too. But where most of the fun is going to happen is right here with the external vocoder. The external vocoder. And as you can hear, that super unison effect and then the multicomp really are great afterwards. The super unison is like a very big, wide, big and wide, inflated sound. God, why am I saying these things? Super unison is a big chorusy effect, which I really love on a lot of sounds. And then the multicomp is like an OTT effect and just squishes the heck out of things. So you have big inflation and then big squish. Again, why? Why am I like this? Cool thing to note here. This is a SM58 beta. It's plugged in via an XLR to TRS connector right into the Minifreak. That's it. You don't need to go buy some like special fancy little mic. You can use any dynamic mic that you have sitting around. You just need an adapter to go to 1/4 inch and it will fit right in there. Same thing you need to think about when you're putting, what do you call it? Like an external signal, like drums or something like that, because processing drums with vocoders is really cool. With this here, what we can do now is we can play around with our carrier. So you can hear as I morph this and change the symmetry and include like sub, that even in this basic wave here, we have something really cool. The filter can be applied to it right here. But the thing about vocoding is generally you want a very rich carrier wave. And in this case, we have a very rich carrier wave with our saw right there. Yeah. Let's go ahead and go through some of the different types here. All right, so this is the harmonic oscillator. forgot to mention that you could bring the dry signal in here too. I honestly think this is a really great way to create sound design stuff that you normally wouldn't. You could sample that. Wow. And use it as part of a sort of like drum and bass or any other sound design thing, like switching back and forth between different bass sounds very fast. I'll probably do that here at the end. Why don't we record like some like little whoop and whap sounds and use them in a little beat at the end? That's a good goal to have, right?
How about we do the drum and bass now instead of later?
All right, what do we got next? Car plus strong. This should be interesting. Oh, it actually sounds really good on my voice. Just that on its own is fucking wild. I know we're focusing really, really strongly on like neuro sound design right now, but that's just what I'm thinking of, like, especially with this combination, some things over here. What do we got next? Virtual analog. So down here, it's more focused towards lower formants. And then up here, we get these more kind of chipmunky formants. But the clarity is really important up here. So you want to mess around. What do we got next? Wave shaper. This should get kind of interesting. Ooh. Oh, wow. That's very Transformers. Oh, that's cool. All right. What else we got here? 2-up FM. Boom. That's actually kind of a cool bass sound. Because this is 2-operator FM, we could get some really nasty sort of inharmonic stuff. So we have a formant oscillator that it has its own sort of vocal quality to it. And then we have running it through the vocoder. So this is a very weird combination of things where we're doubling up on the concept of vocal.
What about more of that drum and bass?
Let's switch this first effect here to vocoder self.
Frequency.
We can affect the sound with the things like formant shifting over here.
Frequency. Frequency. Frequency.
Ooh, that's a really great sound. Hold on. I'm going to record that. I'm back. Accidentally went back to formant. Let's check this out. I'm going to make a little multi-sample out of this.
How about we take a quick break and drum and BBSSSSSSBSBSBS.
I think that could make a good bass topper right there. That's really wild. Okay, back to our vocal here. The way this oscillator works is wave is a collection of words, like there's different banks. Timbre is the speed, and shape is the word itself.
Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet.
That sounds really cool. Oh, wow. Slow the words down really far. That's wild. Yeah. Bonkers. Okay, cool. Oh, that sounds good too. Man, it feels like a lot of modern sound design is done with vocoders. Switch this to the vocoder external. Oh, this is fucking amazing. Yeah, so I'm going to just go ahead and say that this has made the Minifreak a really cool and interactive respace designer. Yeah, fuck Serum. Noise. Okay, so this is going to be really good just for talking through because
ultimately the voices are very complex modulated, and so noise is able to pick up on a lot of all of the things that make vocals sort of intelligible. As you can hear, like right now, I'm pretty intelligible until I take the solo rate down like this. What else can we do? Balance between different noises. What can we do? Big ups to the party and the louder the solo. Another one like this.
So the cool thing about using all the stuff together, the Super Unison and the multi-comp, is it really gives the impression of like using like a bunch of OTTs and also like the erosion effect in Ableton, which is one of the ways that I would normally get those like kind of like speaker cone frying bass sounds in drum and bass sound design. But here the artifacts are just built into it, which is cool. Oh, that saturate control is nice. Yeah, fuck this. I'm like my own LFO now.
I think it's time for just a little more drum bum amp a bass.
So the thing I like about this oscillator is the saw mod effect, which is right here. All right, next up is the Harm. This one is going to be also pretty goddamn good for anything you want to do. Honestly, all the noise engineering oscillators produce such rich harmonics that they're going to be super fantastic for the kind of stuff we're trying to do right now. Is this how Beardy Man does his thing? Like, have you heard the modern Beardy Man shit? Like, it is so insane how he transforms his voice. And now I'm wondering how much of it has to do with just, like, really cool vocoding. Boom, wow, 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 whoa, 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 whoa. Boom, wow, 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 whoa.
I just looked at my watch and apparently it's Droom and Booze o'clock.
Let's see what else we have. Oh, I forgot about the wavetable engine. This should be good, actually. Hold on a second. So one thing to consider when you're doing this is that as you move your mouth sounds like wow, you're actually creating a complex source of modulation and timbre shifting. So don't be afraid to be a little weird with it. You know, wow, 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 wow. That is a form of filter movement that you would get in a thing like Serum. S's and T's and sh's are like noise. So there's all kinds of really interesting things you can do if you can kind of onomatopoeia your way through some sounds.
Dribba-bubba-me bada-bum da dum bum and bibby-babby-biddy-bubba-bus.
So let's go ahead and get a sound source into here that's not the microphone. Let's see if this works. I will plug a 1/4-inch cable directly into the back here. Same kind of cable we had there before. And I'm going to hook this 1/4-inch cable into the iPad using this little whip adapter here. The tapping that you hear right now is the Minifreak vocoding, the sound effect of tapping on the iPad. It's the key sound. Let's start with a really simple basic waves one, and I will move through the keyboard as this plays. That's good. That's a little weird. So decay in this case is going to be like the decay of how the individual hits of the drum machine, or drum loop, excuse me, ring out. That's cool. That's a really great sound. It's kind of mysterious. I like that. Ooh. Sample rate reduction is nasty. Cool. The multi-comp is really struggling against itself right now. I feel like we've gotten similar results already. That's the wavetable oscillator. That sounds pretty good. Okay, so that's what it sounds like on drums. You should definitely try vocoding drums and vocoding a variety of sources. As soon as Arturia opens up putting our own samples on here, I think it's going to be a very interesting situation. Let's do one thing on the way out here, and that is I want to try to make something really pretty. I've been doing a lot of really aggressive sounds, so let's finish this up with something pretty. Okay, so now that I have that dialed in, let's go ahead and restart this. Yeah, I'm just going to play this on the way out. So here is a video from the Tenebrae Choir that I'm going to use for this last vocoding bit. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day. Red means recording, all that shit. Okay, bye.